I gotta warn you guys, you're gonna see some stuff. This next video has proven to make some people pass the out. My dude just passed out right here.
Well, and speaking of Jon, he appears in your special, and I had no idea that it was impossible to get cauliflower ear. And so it seems like you should be studied. How's your ear doing now?
I'm not gonna go so far as to say that I really believe that it would be impossible. I think it's certainly could be the case that I'm one of these people who can't get it, but I'm never gonna know, because anything that I do at this point to try to get cauliflower ear is a major step backwards, and I'm calling it a win because I got the greatest video footage ever. Tied into the love story the way that it worked out, and you know, and I'm still attractive to my lady.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
So since this was a bunch of items from your bucket list, just how long have you been trying to accomplish some of these stunts?
I mean, if I'm honest, I could have just as easily and perhaps more appropriately called it the bottom of the barrel list. Because at the point when I decided I wanted to make this show, I knew that I had to film like crazier stuff than ever. And it was kind of like, man, there's not a lot that my buddies and I haven't done. And I only managed to think that for a few seconds before it became painfully obvious that there were a bunch of ideas that had not been done, and for a very good reason, because they were effectively the bottom of the barrel. You know, they were never supposed to be done. So the bucket list kind of sounded catchy. It seems like a catchier title than the bottom of the barrel list.
I think it would have worked though.
Yeah, how about that?
And so when looking at your various stunts, and it doesn't even have to be from this special, what's one that you're most proud of?
I mean, honestly, I really believe that skyjacking is the crown jewel of my entire career. And I know that that's an outlandish statement, but when you think about how challenging it was to put that together, how many layers there are to it, you know, and I believe that it's testimony to how far I've come in the craft of stand-up and storytelling, to be able to tell a story about jacking off, which makes it permissible for a theater full of 1,000 people, not only to watch me jack off, but to do so joyfully. You know, like it's pretty major. Like, I stand by my statement that I might be the only guy in the world who could get away with that.
Yeah, and I think you're also the only guy in the world that has done that. It seems pretty likely. So
yeah.
I saw that you're also listed as a co-director on this. So did that allow you a lot more creative freedom in terms of the end product?
Well, yeah, I mean, my manager strongly urged me to take a director credit. He's like, dude, all of these vignettes, you know, all of these stunt videos, like, they were absolutely directed by me, you know, like, I came up with all of the ideas and I facilitated all the filming. And so it made perfect sense to take credit for that. And I love it too. I love too that when my credit for directing the stunt videos comes up, I'm bringing the Jackass director out on the stage. Like, I love just the timing of that.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Well, and that brings me to my next question. Jeff Tremaine surprised you for your special, and he's been working with you for a very long time. So, what was his reaction to seeing some of these stunts that you pulled off?
Man, it was so rad for Jeff Tremaine to surprise me by showing up at that taping. I just can't even express, like, of anybody in the whole entire world, like, Jeff Tremaine is the person whose opinion matters the most, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy. I look up to him, you know, I look to him like a father figure, and I just want to make him proud. It meant a lot to have him there. Now, he had seen the show before. There was a point when I thought that if Jeff Tremaine and I brought this show to Netflix, the fact that it would be from the director of Jackass, what Jackass couldn't show, I thought that we might be able to get it on Netflix. So I invited him over to my house and screened for him a early recording of the show. And at the end of it, he said, "I got to say, SteveO, you've outdone yourself, you know, but this can't be on Netflix, dude. Not one part of it." He said, "From start to finish, this is so truly fucked up. I don't see any of it that could ever be allowed on Netflix." And that kind of put that to bed. And so I just leaned into it and did it on my own.
I think the disclaimer that you have at the beginning is one of the best disclaimers because it immediately made me go, oh no, what is going to be happening in this? It even says something about pornographic images.
Right. And it is definitely the most aggressive warning I think that any show has ever had. And as you watch the show, each little bit of the warning is absolutely, you know, checked off. Like, warning is substantiated by the show.
Well, and so which of these stunts would you say was the most painful to perform?
Painful. You know, I always think of pain as like how long did it last? Kind of like the duration.
Not in the moment.
Yeah, the duration of pain is really the biggest criteria for me. And there wasn't anything I remember really hurting for a long, long time. I guess I would go with the cauliflower ear.
Which you are laughing during so much of those, so that's shocking to hear.
Yeah, it's a toss-up between the vasectomy Olympics and cauliflower ear. Maybe vasectomy Olympics because I was beat up for a little while there.
The vasectomy and the follow-up is some of the most uncomfortable I've ever been when watching something. And this is coming from someone like I cover horror movies, so I see a lot of blood and guts and stuff. And I had to look away several times during that. It's like, oh, that's a lot. And so I think that is going to get a lot of visceral reactions out of people.
Yeah, I mean that's the one bit that makes people pass out the most.
Yeah, and can you talk about that phenomenon? Because that's not something that seems to happen at any show, and you had so much footage of it. How often was this happening?
It had, I mean, like I said in the show, you know, like it didn't happen all the time, but for any show where nobody passed out, there were absolutely other shows where multiple people passed out. Yeah. So, you know, we averaged at least a guy per show for the whole tour. And the tour 4 years.
Do you ever have that thought where you're like, oh, nah, they just heard about people passing out. That person's faking it.
I've never once thought anybody faked it.
Okay. Well, and a lot of people have a certain song or band that they listen to get hyped up. And so in order to perform this level of stunt work, what's your pump up music?
I don't know. Maybe, honey, what's my pump up music? Slayer.
Yeah. Slayer. Motley Crue.
Yeah, I like Slayer and Motley Crue. Iron Maiden. Yeah, you know what? I'll put on Iron Maiden Live After Death.
Nice.
But,
it always surprises me because it seems like you're always you're very willing to do these. And so that's one thing I've always been so curious of, is if it is a long kind of like pump up process, or if you're just able to like get it over with.
Yeah, I mean, something that a bull rider buddy said to me one time applies here, I think. You're never ready. It just becomes your turn.
Well, and so do you think that you're ever going to be able to top these stunts? Because these were pretty out there and very over the top.
Yeah, this show is definitely going to be a tough one to beat. But I think I do have one more in me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Does that mean you already have ideas for more?
Yeah,
no.
I wrote up a whole show.
Oh no! I thought for sure this was like your coup de grace. Oh, I can't wait. That's going to be amazing. Do you know when you can expect that to come out?
I think that over the course of the next 4 to 6 months, I'll be
that soon.
I'll be chunking that together.
Oh.
And I would say somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 to 6 months from now would be the launch of that tour.
Awesome. Well,
and that tour would go on for, I would imagine, somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 years, and then would be the next special in about 2.5 years.
Well, that's awesome. I think you're definitely going to see more and more people that respond to this, because I don't know. There were so many moments where I was texting buddies like, I cannot believe what I saw SteveO just do. So
rad, man. I really do hope that people get the word out, man. Like, I mean, because I like that's my thing. You know, I think that I've really made something like truly spectacular with this, and my only fear is that it won't get enough viewership, enough support. So yeah, thank you so much for doing this and helping me get the word out, and hopefully people who see it like are compelled to, you know, share with their friends that it's something worth checking out.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think that's a perfect way to end it. And I'll tell our viewers right now, you should absolutely check out SteveO's special. So thank you so much for joining me today, SteveO.
Hey, brother. Thank you, man. And yeah, go Jon Jones, go UFC, man.
Yeah. Take it easy, man.
Brother. Right on, man. Thank you.
Peace.